Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of May 19th through the 25th. Today is Saturday, May 25th. So this week I got some reading done. I also got some knitting done, so I'll have a Yarnie update for you. I do have some Yarnie acquisitions as well. And so yeah, there's quite a few things to talk to you about today, so let's get into it. So I just finished filming my first impressions video for the Monochrome Manga Club series, first in the series selections, and so that was Ex-Yakuza and Stray Kitten Volume 1 by Riddle Kamimura. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated teen. And I also talked about Cat Plus Gamer Volume 1 by Wataru Nadatani. This is published by Dark Horse. I would say this is probably teen as well. And so if you'd like to hear my thoughts on these selections, you can check out the Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions video that went up on Monday. And then we also read volumes 5 and 6 of Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko, which is continuing our series read of that. And so I will share with you my thoughts on that one. So I had intended on purchasing those copies from the local Barnes & Noble, but apparently the volumes are hard to find now. And so everywhere that I was looking, people were scalping the copies. So the copies were like almost $20, if not more, per volume. And that's ridiculous. And so I checked my local library and was able to borrow copies for our club meeting. And so that was really great. I'm not showing you the copies that I borrowed from my library because unfortunately my library puts their library stickers all on the cover of the manga and not the backside. So in order to keep my location private, I'm showing you pictures of the volumes. I do intend on still collecting this one physically when they do become available, but it's just really hard to find right now other than the most currently released volume, which I think is volume 13. And so yeah, borrowed the copies from the library. Really enjoying the series still. I'm still very surprised that I'm enjoying it as much as I have been, considering after reading volume 1, I was like, this is definitely not for me. Well, it's very interesting. I mean, they're still cooking. I feel like there wasn't as much cooking in these 2 volumes as we have had previously, but there are definitely some interesting things happening outside of the cooking element of this story. So I'm very curious to see where this is all going. And yeah, really enjoyed these volumes. Gave both of them 4 stars. I should probably tell you that I gave Cat Gamer 3.5 stars, and I gave Ex-Yakuza and Stray Kitten 3 stars. So if that gives you any indication of my thoughts on those volumes, like I said, you can definitely check out more of what I thought on those volumes in the Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions video. And then we also read volumes 9 and 10 of Assassination Classroom by Yusei Matsui. This one's published by Viz, rated older teen. We are reading this one, at least my daughter and I are reading this one on the Shonen Jump app. And still really enjoying the story. We got a conclusion to something that happened at the end of last month's volumes in this volume. I would say these 2 volumes weren't as interesting for me, just because of the things that were happening in these volumes were much more for entertainment purposes and not quite directed towards the whole assassination kind of plot or kind of character growth. There was definitely some, and we got, introduced to even more students, focused more, I would say, not introduced. We'd been introduced to them for a while, but the story kind of focused more on them and their, specialities. So I'm really appreciating that we're getting these individual times with these characters, because that really, I don't know, it just kind of helps to give a better feel of all of the students that are in this class, instead of how I kind of feel the anime kind of focuses on more of just focusing on 3 or 4 or 5 of them, And we're really getting a better picture of all of the students in the class, I feel, in the manga. But like I said, these 2 volumes didn't have as much of the assassination element in it, nor the character growth thing. There was a lot of kind of fluffy entertainment type things that weren't my type of thing. And so I still really enjoyed the volumes nonetheless, though, and I still gave them 4 stars. But my daughter and I will be recording another episode of the Volume by Volume podcast on those to share more spoilery thoughts. So if you're reading along, or if you have read or watched the anime adaptation and would like to hear what we thought of the volumes with spoilers, you can definitely check out that podcast. And we're hoping to get that out probably next week, so we will see about that. But yeah, that is what we read from the Monochrome Manga Club. Other manga that I have read, volume 40, 41, and 42 of Haikyu by Haruichi Furudate. This is a story about a boys' volleyball team that has kind of fallen from the ranks and is working their way back up to the top. This one's published by Viz, rated teen. Really, really enjoyed the series. We are in the middle of a rewatch of the anime. We just started season 4. The To the Top season this past Thursday or Friday. Really enjoying it. We are going to see the Dumpster Battle movie this coming Thursday. So really, really like hyping up the Haikyu vibes. And so, yes, I do intend on finishing this series before we go and watch that movie. I will tell you that I gave all 3 of these volumes 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. And I even shed a couple of tears in volume 42. And if you have been with me for a while, you know it takes quite a bit for me to get emotional in stories. And that just tells you how much I enjoy the series, how attached to these characters I have become, and things like that. So really enjoying the series, and I've only got a few more volumes left, so I'm a little bit sad that it's coming to an end, and I think that's partially why my read through of this series has been so slow, because I just don't want it to end. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens as we end out that series. And then the last thing that I finished reading was Sweet Nightmare by Tracy Wolff. So this is the first book in the Calder Academy series. This is a spin-off series to the Crave series, which I read last year. My understanding of this series is that it was supposed to be a series that focused on Remy, which is a character that we met in the Crave series, I believe, in book 3. But that is not what ended up happening. So I guess as the author was writing, they decided to take a different direction. So this series actually focuses on somebody else as a main character of the series. Remy is still in this series, as well as another character that we met in the Crave series. But he is not the main central character in this series. So I thought that was interesting. This series kind of takes place at another school in the world. And this particular school deals with all of the kind of misfits, the troublemakers, and people who don't use their magic in nice ways, I guess. And so the type of student that you have at this academy is a little bit rougher. They're more troublesome, and the school has a lot more rules and regulations and things because of the type of student that goes there. And one of those things is that the school has been enchanted so that the students are unable to use their abilities. So the schools in this world cater to supernatural creatures. You've got vampires, werewolves, dragons. In this series, we also got introduced to sirens, phoenixes. There's a time magician. And so it just is really interesting with all of the different types of creatures you get. But like I said, in this school, they're unable to shift. They're unable to use their abilities. Oh, there's also witches. And so that's kind of something that is a theme in the series. So kind of very, for lack of a better descriptor, Umbridge, like if you read Harry Potter. But yeah, there's that element of these kids, they're not being able to use their abilities, and then once they graduate, what happens to them, right? So there's a theme of that. But there's something else that's going on in the school that's very mysterious, and it follows our main character, who's the daughter of the headmaster, and she has ties to another character that was in the Crave series, and so she also knows Remy, and it kind of talks about what had happened in her life, and things that she's gone through with some of the events that happened in the Crave series, and things like that, and her unraveling, like, or trying to figure out what's going on, like why these weird things are happening at the school. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I would say that you don't have to read Crave in order to read this, because it, like, kind of fills you in on the stuff that it touches on in regards to what happens in the Crave series without being, like, spoilery. Well, except for one thing. There's one thing that if you didn't read the Crave series and you read this, you would definitely be spoiled on one thing, but I would say it's not a central thing to what goes on in the Crave series on a whole. It's in regards to one particular character that's not a main character. So, yeah. I do still recommend that you read the Crave series. It was one of my most favorite series to read last year, and you can, like, watch through my vlogs of my Disney World vacation back in, I believe it was April of 2023, and hear me talk about the third and fourth books in this series and how much I enjoyed reading them while I was on vacation. And those books are the ones that have to deal with the characters that are tied to this series. And so, yes, really enjoyed it. Ended up giving this one 4 stars. I'm looking forward to continuing with this one. And I did purchase myself a copy of the audiobook as well. I listened to most of this on audio, but I did combo read, especially the last, like, 10 chapters, I think. Highly enjoyable series. Exactly what I've been looking for. And so I think now I know, like, what I'm in the mood for right now. So I'm kind of going to try to stick with this vibe for the near future. But yes, the second installment, can't get here fast enough. Really, really enjoyed this. And so that's everything that I've read since I talked to you last. Now, because I finished my audiobook and I finished all of the manga, I'm not currently reading anything. So my plan is for this evening to continue reading the Haikyuu series, like I said, with volume 43. And I'm going to cover the picture here because it is a little bit spoilery if you haven't read the series. And so, yes, volume 43 is going to be my read for the evening. And I've got a couple of audiobooks I'm looking at to start next week, but I'm not going to listen to audiobook until Tuesday. So I'm just going to play it by ear right now. I definitely kind of know which direction my reading wants are going, and so I'm going to try to cater to those and just see where it takes me, because I'm still like, you know, trying to find my way, I guess, with my reads. So that is everything that I have read. That's everything that I plan to read. And so I guess that brings us to another Yarnie update. So, if you saw in the thumbnail, I do have a finished item. So I monogamously have been working on my Haikyuu socks. So these are my Haikyuu socks. because I want to wear them to the dumpster battle movie on Thursday. And so I do have my finished pair. This is using yarn from Hawari Bazaar's Anime Yarn Club. This is the Haikyu colorway. So I did purchase the sock set. So the sock set came with the orange yarn and the blue yarn. And so, yes, I finished these. I'm very happy with these. They do look very different from one another. But if you kind of look at this one, the way that the yarn pulled, doesn't it look like a crow flying? If you just looked like half the body, like here's the wing and here's the body. Right? I mean, at first I was like, oh, it's, looking a little bit different from my first one. I mentioned to you that I worked most of this one while I was working, and I worked most of this one while I was on vacation. So my gauge is very different between these two socks. But, the more I look at it, the more I think it looks like a crow flying. And that couldn't be more appropriate considering that the mascot of Karasuno is a crow. And I had mentioned to you when I had worked this sock that these sections here where it's one by one by one, the different colors, it kind of looks like birds flying in the sky, which again could not be more appropriate considering our team. So I am very, very happy with how these turned out, and I'm glad to be able to wear this pair of socks when we go see the movie on Thursday. So here's the other side in case you are interested. And yes, very happy with this. So I have another finished item for the year. I feel like I'm on a roll. I really, really do. And it's feeling really good because I feel like I'm getting back into knitting, and I'm so inspired by lots of different projects and things that, there are just so many things that I want to do, and it's a little bit overwhelming because there are a lot of new things that I want to cast on, and I can't because I've got lots of things that I've already got on the go. But yes, done with my pair of socks. And I do have a work in progress to share with you. And actually, that brings me to another finished item. So I have a third sock. So this is the first of my daughter's pair of socks from the same skein of yarn. And you can see how differently her sock is knitting up from mine, even my first one. So this is her first one, and this is my first one. So you can see that the difference in stitch circumference is making a difference as well in the look of the sock. And so my sock is a 64 stitch 3x1 rib, 3x1 broken rib. Hers is a 56 stitch stockinette. And so, yeah, same yarn, slightly different look. But yes, I finished one of her socks, and you will notice that she does not have the blue toe. And the reason for that is that I don't think there's enough blue to be able to do both heels and toes for her. So let me grab my project bag. And so my Competo project bag is what I've been housing this project in. So this is what I have right now of the main skein. And this is what I have right now of the corresponding mini. I do not feel like there was enough to do both heels and both toes with this little chunk. And so after talking it over with my daughter, we decided that we were just going to do the toe and the main skein. And so that's what we're doing. I'll be interested to know how much of this I have after I do the heel for her, because having this little bit of yarn just really scared me. I don't think this is enough to do both the heels and the toes. So yeah, we opted to do just heels for her. So that's 3 socks. Well, 2 socks done. 1.5, because I had about half done. I will show you, I think I left the marker on the one that I had from last week. Yes. So I've got my cat marker here. So this is where I was last time I talked to you, and I did this much. And then I finished this sock as well. So that's how much I did this week. Really monogamously working on this project because of the dumpster battle movie coming up. And so my work in progress that I'm currently working on is my daughter's second sock. So this is how much I've got right now. Hers is slightly different from mine in a couple different ways. So her ribbing is a 2x2 rib, and then she has plain stockinette. My sock was a 1x1 rib and a 3x1 broken rib. And so hers being just plain stockinette is making it very, very easy to just go round and round and round. It's really, really fast. And so I've got 15 rows of 2x2 ribbing and 10 rows of stockinette right now. So her sock will be 45 stitches in the leg. So 15 rows of 2x2 ribbing, 45 stitches, 45 rows in the leg, which is the same as mine. Slip stitch heel flap. Again, same as mine with a square heel turn. And then she is having 60 rows in the foot and my lightning toe. I have 50 rows in my foot and my lightning toe. And so, yeah. It's working up pretty quickly. I think I should have hers done as well by the time the dumpster battle movie comes around. If not, I'm going to be disappointed in myself for one, but she also has a pair of Clip Crow's Fly Again socks, which correspond to the arms of my Clip Crow's Fly Again sweater that she could wear to the movie. And she also has the Haikyu like anime t-shirts and stuff, which I do not have. So that's kind of why I wanted to have my socks to be like, you know, in Haikyu, decked out in Haikyu stuff. And so yeah. So that's where I am right now. My main priority is going to be to work on this sock and get it done by the movie. And so, yeah. After this, I think I definitely want to go back to my niece's mini unicorn or last unicorn sweater and work on that. I've been really wanting to get back to that one. And, yeah. So that is the plan for the knitting over the next coming week. So I've got nice socks, and just even looking at the color difference, you can see that my socks are a bit darker than hers are, huh? But that's okay. It's very interesting how this yarn is working up. And I'm really interested to see what the rest of the yarn clubs I have from Hawari Bazaar are going to look like. And so that's what I've got for my Yarnie update. Now to some Yarnie acquisitions. So I did make another purchase from Hawari Bazaar. And it looks like this. So let me unpack it so that I can get rid of the crinkling. So this is not my normal like Anime Yarn Club purchase. I did purchase the Anime Yarn Club for May, which ended up being Black Butler. So I'm really, really excited to get that in June. But Hawari Bazaar usually will keep a couple of skeins of the monthly yarn clubs for herself when she dyes them. And just recently, she's been selling them off. So there's only like one skein of each club available. And they don't necessarily need to be in the sock base. She might have kept a slub base or a zebra, I think she calls it, which is the kind of marled black and white yarn that's kind of popular right now. But in this last set that she had put up for sale of her own personal skeins, she had a skein of Weathering with You. And for whatever reason, I did not purchase this when it was available, but I don't know when it was available because it does not say on the wrap what month or year the club was for this particular skein. And so, yeah, I could have sworn I bought one, but when I went to go check my collection of anime yarn clubs, I didn't. So I don't know if I just didn't buy it because I hadn't yet watched or read Weathering with You, but it is definitely one that I'm interested in and I do have. And so when I saw the colors of the skein, I had to get it. Had to. And so this is her skein of Weathering with You. She only had the one. And so I don't have a coordinating mini for this, but with the colors that are in this skein, I definitely have colors that will coordinate with this in my collection, because it's very much your blues, light aquas, light sky blues, and there is just a pop of like neon green in there. So yeah, I definitely have something I can use for a coordinating mini. And this skein is absolutely gorgeous. And so that is Weathering with You. And then since I was purchasing a skein, there were some stitch markers that I really had my eye on from her store. And normally when you purchase the yarn clubs, you're not supposed to purchase anything else with them. You got to put in another order. And I didn't just want to put in another order for stitch markers. And so since I had the skein, I was like, well, I'm just going to add the stitch markers in. And so I've got this black Sakura stitch marker or progress keeper. And then I've got a set of stitch markers with the black Sakura, and there's some bamboo, green bamboo in there. So that's a set of 5. So there's 3 black Sakura and 2 green bamboo. And then I've got this set of black origami crane stitch markers. This is a set of 3. And then I have a T-Rex. You kind of can't see these, can you? T-Rex. Progress keeper. It's very like geometrical, and I'm really loving that T-Rex. Then I have these like resin stars stitch markers. Those are gorgeous. There's stars in stars. And then I have a Brontosaurus. And then I have that Brontosaurus Progress Keeper. Same kind of like geometric type design as the T-Rex. And then the last one I have is a gold paper crane. So this is a Progress Keeper. So this is what the black stitch markers that I showed previously looked like, except they're black and they're stitch markers, and this is a Progress Keeper. So yes, very happy with these. They're all very gorgeous, and I'm excited to start using them on my projects. And so yeah, that is everything that I have accumulated this week. Well, not everything. So I guess this will bring me to the weekly update with what I did this week. So, like I mentioned to you last week, I did have jury duty this week. Thankfully, I was excused. And so, after doing the jury duty and stuff, it was kind of a stressful day, you know? I got off pretty easily, but just waiting around was tough. It was tough because even though I wasn't called into the box, you know, just waiting to see if they're going to call your name to be a potential candidate and question you and stuff is nerve-wracking. At least it is for me. And it got down to like the last few of us. There were like 5 of us left in our pool, and I was one of the last 5. And they decided to set the jury. So I was saved. It was just a lot of waiting, you know. And you can't knit in the courtroom. You can't knit in the courthouse. You can't knit on premises. And so I was able to do some of my reading of Assassination Classroom on the app while I was waiting. But, sitting in the courtroom, you can't do any of that because you're supposed to be paying attention. What if they call your name? Listen to all of the questions that are being asked to others because they're probably going to be asked to you. And so it was just really stressful. So after getting out of jury duty, I decided to go visit another one of my local libraries and peruse their bookstore section. It's something that I haven't done in a while. Before going to the library to pick up the volumes of Delicious and Dungeon, I hadn't been to a library bookstore since I've been to the library. So I think that was back in 2021 when we were finally able to return the manga that we had borrowed in 2020. And so just perusing at the other library kind of made me want to go back to my usual haunts. And so we went to another library in our area and I picked up a few things. I'm not going to share them with you, but they had a cozy mystery series, most of the books in that series, so I decided to pick them up. Can't pass up a book for 75 cents. And, it is a donation to the library, so I don't feel like it's wasting money or anything. I do feel like I'm helping, the community and things like that. And we picked up a set of the 39 Clues books. That was one of the books that we had picked up at the other library in the other hall that I had showed you in my vacation vlog. They had a whole set of them, 1 through 11, for $11, so $1 a piece. So we went ahead and picked that up as well. But yeah, we went and did that. I became a member of my library, and so that gives you extra discounts. And so they said, well, if you go to the other library, you can get 50% off there today as well, since you signed up to be a member today. And so we went over to that library, and I was able to pick up a couple of other things as well for 50% off. And so, yeah, it was really fun. It was a nice way to de-stress after serving jury duty for the day. And obviously my boss was very happy that I didn't get selected to be put on a jury. I have served once before on an actual jury. And it was an experience. So I'm glad that I don't have to do it again. And I'm good for another 12 months, I think. So that was that. Other than that, normal work stuff. My brother's birthday was the same day as the manga club meeting, so I was able to talk to him a little bit, which was nice. We had our manga club meeting, and so I did pick up some manga while we were at the Barnes & Noble, so you'll see that in my May manga haul sometime in June. And yeah, other than that, same old over here. We do have a holiday on Monday, so that'll be great because I will be able to work on my daughter's sock a little bit more, so that should secure her pair for the Dumpster Battle movie. So this coming week, holiday on Monday, Dumpster Battle movie on Thursday, and so yeah, very, very excited to go see the Dumpster Battle movie. We're doing our Haikyu rewatch. We're finishing up, so we should finish that up before the Dumpster Battle movie. And so that'll bring us up to date chronologically with the events. And yeah, so that's kind of the exciting thing that's happening next week, the Dumpster Battle movie. And I think that's pretty much all I have to share with you today. So let me know down in the comments below what you've been up to. Have you been to a used bookstore lately? If so, what did you pick up? Do you visit your library bookstores very often? If so, what kinds of deals do you look for? What kinds of things do you look for? Are you somebody who picks up any edition, or does it have to be specifically paperback? Or do you specifically look for hardbacks? I am definitely somebody who avoids the hardbacks because you know that I don't like to read hardbacks unless it's something that I absolutely can't find anywhere else and, you know, the hardback is super cheap. Yeah, or let me know if you made any acquisitions this week, whether it be books or manga or crafty items. If you shared that with me, I'd really love to know. And if nothing else and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a volleyball emoji or some type of sports emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.